Welcome to part one of in this tutorial we're going to look at the different ways to hit the ball and how it is affected when it comes off the wall, and in the latter half we're going to look into counter attacks and helping to get those centered. A lot of videos to get through today, so let's crack on. If the ball is on the ground and you hit it, you chip the ball. We'll call this the punt. So that'll give you an idea of the speed that it will go. Quick tip, on a kickoff, let off the boost just before and it'll actually dip straight into the goal. If we roll into the ball, it will stay low and on the ground. This is pretty much key when you're actually working with corners. So on a side wall, if you hit it straight, it will return straight. So to prevent you hitting yourself, off the ball hitting you off the wall, apply a little bit of an angle and that will center the ball for you. If we roll and it hits the lip while it's rolling, note that it actually comes away from the wall, so that's a good way to predict where it's going to land. If the ball slightly bounces just before it hits, it will come away further, so you can actually pull off things like aerials in order to score a goal straight from kickoff. The corners are not just one continuous bend, but they're actually made up of flat sections, so if you hit it into the corner, sometimes it will come back and you can centre the ball this way. If we reduce the angle, we can actually hit it halfway along the wall from the centre point of the pitch, and we've got a good idea that it's going to go somewhere near the centre to put in. If the ball bounces off the lip, generally speaking it will pop up, so that's a good little tip as well. It's more likely that in game you're going to be hitting the ball with speed, so here again, hitting about halfway, and that will put it somewhere near the goal for you just to pop in. If we look at this from above, you can see that the angle that the ball hits the wall will be the same angle that it exits the wall. Once we can judge the speed and the angle from the wall, you can then predict where it's going to land and either put a cross in or take a shot. Strange things happen at kick-off, as we know. It's reduced the angle there, so I know I need to hit it forward in order to take the shot. If you pinch the ball between the wall as you hit it, it generates a great deal of speed and you can increase the angle to centre the ball like that as well. Remember this one from earlier? Hit the wall straight on and it will come straight back at you. So instead of going around the wall, if you're in a position to do so, you can actually set somebody up in the centre to pop it in. Here's the same thing, but setting somebody up so you can see it from that perspective as well. If we punt the ball down the line so it's bouncing, once it hits the lip it will also bounce around towards the front post. You can use that to get the ball round as well. Here it's a little bit faster, so if we punt it once, it will bounce once off the ball, across the goal, and quite often you don't need to do anything, we put it in. Here's that example in game. So we're going to punt it onto the wall above where the lip is and it will bounce. If you need to generate some extra height, you can use the lip to roll it up the ball, and again it will bounce once and then come across the goal a bit higher, perhaps over anybody on the front post. The straight punt into the corner, a bit more speed, a bit further round, and it still bounces over exactly the same. The faster you hit the ball, the higher it will go, so you'll have more chance of getting the height that you need to clear it over the front post. A full speed punt off the wall first will give you pretty much the same results. And it still goes in. Knowing how the corners behave helps you predict exactly where you need to be at the right time. you know the ball's going to come over and pop up, and you're in. So we've looked at punting into the corners, so let's use the sidewalls now and see what happens there. Using sidewalls is a great way to counter anybody coming to get the ball at this point. Is probably going to expect you to go down the side. You can bounce it off the ball, that will centralise it, leaving you in a good position just to poke it in. If you're playing against 3 ball chasers, this is a really good way to get in behind them, and they'll leave themselves open to this a lot. Ball counters definitely go better when you've got some boost to use, so it means you can hit the ball harder, get it further down the pitch, follow it up. If we use the forward roll and it hits the lip, it's actually going to bobble up against the wall, so you can drive it in or do a wall hit to again get it central and dummy the keeper. If there's no option for the sidewall, remember you can still punt it into the corner, and you can use this from a defensive standpoint as well as an attacking one to put you in a good position. Similar principle, just a bit further up the pitch. So let's knock it against the wall. We can then predict where it's going to land, forward roll, and because we're already on the lip, it's going to bounce on the roof, so we'll still forward roll to push it back into the centre. Then someone does that. Slightly better camera angle on the replay, you can see just there, just forward roll, and that's all we need to do. As Cam demonstrates here, it's the fact of go big or go home. You don't always have to wait for it to come back down either, you can actually hit it directly off the wall. That can channel it down the centre again as well. I use the right barrel roll here, just above the ball, and what that will do is instead of pushing it down the line, we'll give you the angle to push it back into the centre. With wall hits, you often don't need to do anything else other than hit it at speed, so here about the halfway line, pretty much full boost. And punting it there, we'll just lift it into the goal. Instead of chasing him here, because I'm not going to hit it before he will, I can actually go at the wall, punt it, and, well, top corner. You can also punt it down off the wall as well, so if you put it round the corner, there's usually, certainly on the later level when people get better, they'll cover the front post. But if you can actually hit it down into the ground, it makes it bounce, which is really difficult to deal with. In order to generate some speed from the ball, again just using the right barrel roll there, and that will give you a little bit of extra height. So that's it for part 1. In part 2 we'll look at looping the ball over from the corners and how the lip affects it. So give me a thumbs up if you want to see that, or you can always subscribe to the channel or leave me a comment underneath. It'd be great to hear what you have to say. Thanks for watching, see you in part 2.